I just have to ask you point blank, coming out with that news yesterday, the recovery rates look good. How do you feel about them?
We feel good. Taking a step back, there were two bankruptcies. There was the Puerto Rico Commonwealth bankruptcy and the Cofina bankruptcy. Yesterday's announcement concludes the bankruptcy for Cofina. It's the largest municipal bankruptcy ever, $17.6 billion of debt restructured. And this really sets the stage, for the Commonwealth to emerge from bankruptcy next. It also sets Puerto Rico up to reaccess capital markets.
So the seniors got about a 95 cents. Cofina's the Cofina subordinates were a little bit lower than that. Walk me through sort of the infighting, if you will, between both the seniors and the subordinates.
Yeah, so the process was contentious at times. You're right, including accrued interest. The seniors got 95 cents. The subordinates got 58, including the accrued interest. And it's a remarkable outcome. I mean, given the challenges that Puerto Rico has had, the fiscal crisis, economic crisis, and the once-in-a-100-year hurricane, for the seniors to get 95 cents is outstanding. And it was hard fought with the subs. As you can imagine, when there's limited resources, everyone wants a little bit more. But at the end of the day, the plan was voted on. 99.5% of the seniors voted in favor, and 92% of the subs voted in favor. So it was contentious, but it was consensual at the end of the day.
Now, there's also been some infighting, if you will, also between the GO bondholders, because they were supposed to be untouchable, and yet maybe perhaps they're losing a little bit of ground to that dedicated tax revenue that went to the Cofinas. How do you work between that as well, between Cofinas and GOs?
Yeah, so a lot has been made of the GO-Cofina dispute, and it's actually a bit of a proxy war because the GOs are creditors of the Commonwealth, and the Commonwealth was a creditor of Cofina. And this bankruptcy emergence settles the Commonwealth-Cofina dispute. 46% of the dedicated sales tax that went to Cofina is being turned over to the Commonwealth, and that'll be an available resource to pay Commonwealth obligations, including the GO. So I think it's going to benefit the GOs at the end of the day. The settlement's a good thing. Some of the largest GO bondholders actually came out in support of this deal. Okay. And so we got to a consensual settlement.
What does this mean, sort of bigger picture, about Puerto Rico's bankruptcy law? The fact is, maybe this shows that it is working. For
sure, yeah. So the law was passed by Congress in 2016, and this is a huge waypoint. It's taken longer than planned. I think the hurricane was part of that timing in terms of being a bit of a setback, but the board is doing its job. The process is working. $17.6 billion of debt has been restructured.
Now, we know that the market has a short memory. When does Puerto Rico have to come to market again? And more importantly, are there buyers that trust that Puerto Rico will pay this time?
Yeah. So the good news is the economy in Puerto Rico is actually doing quite well right now. There was a lot of uncertainty after the hurricane, but the Commonwealth is running a surplus. There's a lot of activity going on related to rebuilding and reconstruction. So the economy is doing well. This deal actually sets the stage for Puerto Rico to reaccess capital markets. There's $12 billion of new debt being issued, and there's a basket of $7 billion of additional Cofina debt that can be issued. And I think there's going to be a lot of demand for the paper. The bankruptcy confirmation order is final, binding, conclusive, complete. There's no doubt that Cofina owns the dedicated sales tax, and bondholders have a statutory lien in favor of that tax. Now,
we know that this has been a very long process. I mean, we've been talking about this for 5-6 years or so. Any idea of what's next? When we would get a decision for the GO bondholders? Where do we go from here?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a big push in 2019. The board terms are up for renewal in September. And so I think you're going to see a lot of activity this year. Now that Cofina is resolved, I think everyone's focused on the GO credit, and that's where we're going to pay attention next.
Okay, so 2019 story?
I hope so.